Darling, it is so good to see you. Wait, there is no need to say anything. I know why you are here. Oh my, you are a tall one, aren't you? Now, just hold still and Edna will get everything taken care of for you. Now, you clearly have come to me because perhaps it is true that I am the best designer of superhero costumes in the entire world. Well, of course you came to see me, darling. Of course I will get you taken care of. Wait, you don't need to say anything else. I can tell just by looking at you everything I need to know. First, you have the boring powers. You've got the nigh invulnerability. You fly about. Is this so? Of course it is so. This is why you come to see Edna. I take care of you. Now, what we need to do is design one based on your more interesting powers. Now, I understand that you have some abilities that came to you from a certain amulet that you are wearing now. Yes, darling, that hideous amulet which came, let me guess, from Egyptian hieroglyphs, perhaps from the god Set, is giving it to you. Wonderful. But what are you doing? You're wearing it with a leather strap around your neck. Any supervillain comes, he snatches that off you. What do? Then you plummet out of the sky and you die. That is not acceptable. No, we will design a costume that keeps all of your powers intact, perhaps putting it in a sintered chess piece, but with some reinforced mesh Kevlar to keep it all intact. Does that sound a little bit better to you, darling? Yes, don't say anything else. I don't need to hear the details. I know what kind of superhero you are. Could I guess I'm looking and seeing that you have the cold grasp of the undead on your arms, the grasping fingers of a leech or some kind of terrible creature from the beyond. Yes, and you have the burn marks from some kind of small but vicious dragon. I'm guessing maybe a wyvern or something of that nature. So what we have is a superhero who fights the supernatural. Is that right, darling? Yes, of course it's right. I am Edna. I know these things. I get it taken care of for you. So we are going to not just have the normal mesh weave that gives you protection from the bullets and all of that good things, but one that gives you some basic protection against spells, hexes, and all of that fun stuff. Well, I have a few magicians I will bring in to put these weavings in when we do it. It's a little bit extra, but darling, really, when you are not being turned into some kind of hideous toad, I think you will be glad that we did it. Now, we look at colors now. We have the pale colors, garbage. We are not doing anything like that. We have the blue colors, terrible. What would that look like with your skin? Really, darling? Yes, it would not be bad with a few other things. A paler color, terrible. We will do nothing of the sort. Now, this is what I am thinking, darling. Your little hieroglyph, whatever amulet, it is this pale color, this boring color. What we will do is we will surround it with a lighter color. What are they calling it these days? Dishy coral. What garbage is that? However, that color I think we can work with. We will surround it. It will pop and highlight and yet at the same time obscure. It will be lovely, darling. You will absolutely love it. Now, what we need is a few accents. So around the eyepiece, we will go with a bold color, a bold red. What are they calling it now? Cerise. Really, darling, I knew a girl when I was in fashion school named Cerise. She was so boring. Never stopped talking. Gabble, 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 gabble. Now, what we do for your suit itself, we go for a gray color. I know what you're thinking, gray, that is boring, but no, we accent it with just a little bit on the edges. We do that for the uniform color. This is also bringing out and letting people know that you are of supernatural origin and not to mess with you, can I say, and we will shoot it through the actual spells and weavings with a silver color, the little bindings and all the goodies that we will put in, and they will pop with this gray as a base. But this is where we will come in. We will have a slight hood over with a pale green color. We will work with this pale green color for the hood. With the red, it will have this nice obscuring feel when people are looking at you, darling. They will see this green hood and they will see this hint of red. Let me guess, darling, when you activate your powers, your eyes glow. Yes, of course, a pale blue. Of course, I know that. I am Edna. I know these things. You don't need to tell me. And so they will see the green, the blue, the red. It is everything that you are looking for. It will be fantastic, darling. Now stop right there before you go. Don't move one of those bulging muscles. We have to get you measured, darling. Now hold still. Good Lord. I can barely get around your neck. How big are you? You think Robert was bad? He was terrible. Can measure these swelling biceps of yours. Yes. Get that waist. 36, darling. You know, some people call that fat, but you superheroes, you need to have a little more girth, so I think that is okay. Now, do not scream or be weird. I get this inseam. I measure you and your height. Get up on my step stool. 6'6". Of course, you are enormous. It will probably cost you extra, just so you know, to fill out your incredibly huge form. So I'm just getting a few measurements down here. Now, darling, a few final questions. Will you be sidekicking with anyone? Have a little boy who flies around with you, any of those things? No, that is probably best. You should start out on your own, but eventually you're going to want to join one of the big leagues or legions or whatever. It will give you good support, and I always need help with the supernatural. They never know what to do. Some little magician comes in and just tears through them. You want to look about joining one of those pretty soon. But until you do, I get you all taken care of. We'll have the gray, the silver accents, the red on the eyes to cover your identity, the green hood, and of course your lovely pale blue glowing eyes. We'll get your little moniker set in the center where no supervillain can go grabbing it from you, and you will be victorious. It will be delightful, and you will be the greatest superhero, and you will remember that it was Edna Mode who gave it to you. Oh, and of course, one final thing. No capes!